almost 17, 18, when I was actually not qualified by age. But because I was the president of the Congress of South African Students and my life was in danger, the ANC had to write a special motivation as to why I should carry a firearm at that age. But since I became the president of the Youth League and now EFF, there's never been a need for me to carry a firearm because I've always had with me the protectors. But competency, I'm a very good competent person and not disqualified by any court to carry a firearm.
Over and above your close security protectors that were with you that day, were there other police officers involved in the scheduling and arrangement of this occasion?
Your Worship, the Joint Operation Center is constituted by different stakeholders. It will involve the medic, it will involve traffic officers, it will involve SAPs, and it will involve the event organizers. And ordinarily, the head of that Joint Operation Center, in most cases, unless otherwise, maybe in big cities, I don't know, the SAPs person will be the head of a Joint Operation Center. There were police in the JOG. JOG is responsible for running, that's why it's operation, running everything. The people who come to sell even outside the stadium have to have the approval of JOG. Everything that goes on in the stadium is a responsibility of JOG. So there were police outside the stadium, there were police inside the stadium, uniformed police. And there were police in the JOG stand that was directly opposite to the stage, watching everything that was happening on the stage, around the stage, and in the stadium.
Those accredited attendees who had the right to be there and to set up and everything, did they have any, did they show any indication that they were in any way affiliated to the EFF? Or, particularly, were they there in their official capacity as members of the SAPS, or were they there to support the EFF in
they are on duty. Actually, the leader of the Joint Operations Center, if he wants to be rude, he will tell the whole team not to leave. They must be the last people to leave at the stadium because, like I said, they are responsible for every little thing that transpires at the stadium. So they were there on duty, including those ones who were looking after me. They were on duty. They were not on holiday. They were not moonlighting.
As I previously alluded to, we're going to show video 3, but before we begin it, I just need to contextualize it in the sequence of events of that night. Where we see you and other members of the EFF dancing on stage, was that prior to your address or after your address at this episode?
On the video is after my address.
So can you give us a rough estimate of the time?
Well, I think it should be around early hours of the evening, the latest 8 o'clock.
So when you switch on the video now, we're at the stage where you've addressed your SG or TG has thanked you, and then there were celebrations that take place. Mm-hmm. Is that where we are?
Yeah, but I want to explain to your worship. If you are to shoot a live ammunition on the stage where JOG is sitting directly opposite you, live ammunition, there is no way JOG won't pick it up. Its duty is to pick up such things. JOG would have picked up that and then come for whoever has discharged a firearm inside the stadium. Because remember, they are anticipating that a political rivalry, a political opponent, whoever doesn't agree with the EFF might go and cause trouble there. And once they hear that, they're like, okay, it looks like it's happening. That's why police are there, to make sure no one commits crime on the scene. And then when you look at the video, your worship, look at the reaction of people. I come from the township where crime is very high. when there is a shooting of a gun, we never ask who shot the gun and where it came from. We all go for cover. You go down. Without, whether it's real or not, once it is not warned that a gun is good. That's why even today in the in the inauguration of the president, they had to tell the audience there's going to be 21 gun salute. Why? So people are not scared. So imagine if you shoot a gun, no one has been told a gun is being shot. There are people on the stage, no one goes for cover. There are people in front of the stage, no one goes for cover. There are people who are live streaming the event, say it never even occurred to us that there was such an activity. How on earth do people, all of them were there, not a single one of them, your worship says, at some point I felt like there was something, but I was not sure. No one says that. But I must still come and answer a question that was, a state, a case on behalf of the state, which the state failed to build. I feel like I'm guilty, and what I'm doing now is to prove my innocence. And if that is the approach, it's against the spirit and the letter of our constitution. I hope we're not there.
Malema, I'm going to ask if the video, can you see it on the computer?
Yeah.
Do you want to step?
I want to...
Do you want to come stand here just for the viewing?
Okay.
Third.
And I can ask her to stop
Yes.
where I want us to stop.
Please, please. Okay. Will you tell the operator to stop? Third. What's the sound?
You want to sound
Whose voice are we hearing?
That's...
Turn the microphone with the red towards you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's Mbuiseni Ndlozi's voice. But the reason why I said stop, I just said to worship, there were people there. So I want the worship to see that there are people, a lot of them there at the stadium before even anything happens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's important that we put this on record. What you're viewing now on the video is a person dressed in red. In front of that person are all the attendees in front of the stage.
Yes.
That's the crowd that you estimate to be in the thousands.
Yes. Yes. Stop. I want the worship to also notice, because a view might be taken that it's just a group of men, they are not scared of anything. There are women on the stage there.
In your immediate vicinity?
On the stage, immediately next to where they say a live ammunition was shot. All these women are members of parliament. They are not from some military command. So they know nothing about guns. Go back. No, play. Allow to play. Stop. So here, your worship, there are two people. Is the white guy in front and a black guy at the back. The name of a black guy at the back, his name is Rimabun. When I was sitting here listening to this case, they said the firearm in question was issued to him by his company. So if that firearm was used here, the person in the papers who is in possession of the firearm in question is Lermabun. Why is Lermabun not charged? Why is Larry Mabunda not called before this court to come and account? That why is the firearm issued in your name, find itself in East London, and there are some cartridges and all of that. I'm being called here to come and answer for a gun that is not issued anywhere in my name. That is not being found in my properties. That hasn't been found in my car. That hasn't been found on my body. A person whose name in the papers of the law, as required by the law, that before a company issues out a firearm, it has to be registered in someone's ex name. When that firearm cartridge is found there, and then that firearm tests positive, the first suspect is supposed to be Larry Mabunda. But here, I'm with this gentleman here. I don't know what he's doing here, when the man at the back is the one. Stop. You reverse a bit. Let me. Stop. This is a guy from VIP protection. The one that I just stopped.
No, there's a face, you see a collar.
I can't see what you are looking at. So
yeah, I'm looking at the same thing that this one. This one.
Oh.
This one.
The collar that you see.
You say that is who?
That is no, it's not. Yeah, Larry has gone past.
Yes.
This guy is following at the back of Larry. That's a VIP protector from South African Police Services. I will get his name. Stop. Even after the shooting, the women are still dancing. I get there is some people's lives are endangered. After the so-called shooting, the women are still dancing. So this is a behavioral pattern of a person whose life is being endangered. Let's proceed. Stop. Go back a bit. A little bit. Yeah. Your worship, this is Darling Poof. Is the senior counsel, the lawyer, who is also on the stage where a crime is being committed. Because we are told the real firearm is being shot here and endangering the lives of the people. I'm endangering the life of a senior counsel. And then the senior counsel, because his EFF is scared to report Malema, that Malema endangered my life. I'm just demonstrating to you that it was not just ordinary people. Even a senior counsel is there. His police is now moved to a senior counsel. How would a life of a senior counsel be endangered, knowing the law as he knows it? He doesn't take action about it. Thank you. This is the same person from SAPS, VIP protection.
Suit.
So with a black jacket.
Yeah, black jacket, yeah.
Remember, you've watched the video, you've given an estimation of the amount of people there. Did any one of those people come forward to testify against you that they felt endangered?
No one.
Did anybody in the video react consistent with being scared of anything?
If anything, people are celebrating. Because, of course, it was a day of celebration.
Now, can you then explain to the court what was actually viewed there? When the court saw you with what looked like a firearm on the stage?
It was a toy, my worship. We, in the EFF, from time to time when we celebrate the anniversary of the EFF, there are acts that we put as part of the program to celebrate the anniversary of the EFF. If you look at us in all the songs, we make gestures of a firearm when we sing songs. And that day, we said, as part of the act, we need to bring the cinema toy to demonstrate the shooting as part of the celebration. If your worship pays attention, in the 10th anniversary of the EFF, in FNB Stadium, there was another act. That act was the stage going up. That's an act. So it's part, so every anniversary has got different kind of features to excite and to make it nicer for the people who are in attendance.
Now, in the video one, you
Yeah.
appear to have what looks like a handgun in your hand. Is that a real handgun, your real handgun, or was it a similar toy gun?
Well, it's not a real handgun, because even here there is no any handgun that was brought to this court. So there is in no way I can answer on something that is not even before this court, where they allege that a real handgun. Handgun, you mean pistol? I don't know what's a handgun. All I know is pistol and rifle. Okay. Yes. So they were all there.
Now that handgun, not on the toy rifle. Do you have it to record?
Yes, I've got it.
Can you show it to the court?
Can I show it to your worship?
You were pointed that you had to go.
A pleasure. No.
As it be clear?
It was clear, Joseph.
You were pointed to the
Okay. Even the way to worship, if I were to give you to carry it.
Okay. I don't want to endanger anyone. So how do I
Yeah.
You say it. I thought you said it's right.
No, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So the similarities are not.
90 degrees up to the season, to the ground.
That's correct.
Okay, I don't know how to hand it back to you.
As long as it's facing down.
I got face down. You have to take it like this.
If I may.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see, Mr. Malema, it has a...
Now you're pointing here.
It has a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
You confirm?
Yeah.
And clips in.
Nice.
This one, for
Yeah.
court purposes, is empty.
Yeah.
So that's safe.
We took out the plans from the magazine.
It's empty. No,
Yeah.
To be empty to come to
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
Magazine, as we saw.
And at the back, yeah. Pull it. Yeah.
So you're doing what now? You're doing lots of
That's
stuff that I'm
the
not
copy
following.
mechanism, Worship, of the
We're just making sure.
which would
That's
lift the round into the chamber,
Mm.
as you saw in the video. And then what I also wanted to show you, Mr. Malema, is it has a retractable.
Yeah.
That's what the
You can extend it, yeah.
You're not an expert, but this is what you had in your possession on that day. Is that true?
Absolutely. And the idea is to create an impression of a real gun, so that it doesn't come out in a very clumsy way. Your worship, they do this in all the movies. When you watch a movie, you feel like it's a real gun. Does it make it a real gun because it sounds like a real gun? It can't be correct. By just looking at it here, especially, Your Worship, if we had not been taken through the education that we have been taken through by the other ballistic witness, by looking at it, ordinarily would have just concluded that it is a firearm and there is no way a toy gun can look like that. Because once you say a toy gun, what comes into our mind is those ones that we buy for our kids which use water.
Now, Mr. Malema, you were in court and the investigating officer, Colonel Victor, testified that on stage with Swartboy. Mr. Swartboy testified that on stage with you were not 4 but 5 VIP protection officers from the SAPS.
Yeah.
Would you accept that?
Not 5, 4. I had 2 from Joburg, 2 from here.
But what I want to ask
Joburg, I mean Pretoria.
Is, whilst you were there, was there any attempt to arrest you or charge you with any possible criminal offence?
I don't know, no one came to us. There was, Your Worship, there was nothing that warranted any police involvement. That's why the head of JOG said to you, Your Worship, that it was one of the most successful, peaceful events. He even went to sleep. He was the last one to leave, went to sleep so satisfied. And not only that, he says to you, we were working with Marshal Dlamini from the EFF. We have never seen such a cooperative man from the beginning to the end. These are the people now who must be projected by people who watch on TV as potential criminals. But the people who were with us there say these kids are the well-behaved kids. We sat with them the whole day, the whole night. Someone must look at us on some camera, which even the person who took that video is not here to testify to, and say on the basis of that, these are bad people.
Were you ever taken for powder residue tests on your hands, clothing, and body?
Colonel Swartboy has never spoken to me. I can't even point you who's Colonel Swartboy. No one has ever come to me. If there is a person who came to me, Your Worship, it's a person called Gavenda or something, yeah. And then we met at the Hawks or something. We met in Pretoria with Gavenda. Gavenda is the one who told me there was this story and all of that. Do you want to take a statement? I said, make a statement. I said, no. And then that was the end of it. No powder was tested on me. No premises of mine were searched. No one has ever said to me, we want to question you. Your Worship, is there on record in the papers that I've got a firearm. So if they say Malema shot a firearm, the first immediate thing, if you're dealing with an honest, objective process, would have been Malema's personal firearm must be handed over for testing. Because we know it's not disputed. We know for a fact that he's got a firearm. What if he shot his own firearm there? So his firearm, when you deal with a person who discharged a firearm in public and he's got a licensed firearm, the first thing you do is to take his firearm and go and do ballistics on it, because that alone is sufficient to say this is the one that was discharged. What makes matters worse, Your Worship, they said there was a pistol there, and my license tells them he's got a pistol. What if that pistol of mine is the one that was discharged there? For 5 years I'm standing before you now. It has never been taken for a test. My pistol that is there, recorded lawfully. They say you are carrying a pistol, which they never brought to you yet, not even a toy. And they know I've got a pistol. They never say hand over your pistol so that we can test it if it's not the one that was discharged at Sisa Dugashe Stadium.
Now, you've said that nobody cowered or ran away or felt threatened. I need to ask you, sir, are you aware of any damage caused by any projectile from any of these alleged shots, either from the handgun and or the rifle?
No damage at all. I mean, the the gear house people came here, and the majority of that property which was there is from gear house. I remember my worship asking them if them taking a stand here will not compromise their business. They answered no, and I'm happy to report to the worship that they took a stand here. We're just from an election now. They provided the stage and sound to our last rally in Polokwane, and they did the same at the FNB Stadium even after testifying here. Why? They never lied about anything. They told the truth as they know it, and we have no reason why we should fight with people who go and seek to help the court to arrive at a proper conclusion.
Now, you've explained to the court that you are proficient in shooting. Can you think of any possible explanation for how a cartridge was found in excess of 20 meters away from where you alleged to have stood? I
can only answer for what I've given to my Lord to check and test. Those things of cartridges and rifles and what it's not part of my business. You are not going to find a gun in another man's house and come and ask me. Asking me about a gun you found in another man's house. I'm not going to answer that. No one is going to ask me questions about something that was never found on me, about something that was never demonstrated any form of evidence before this worship as evidence against me. I've told this court, and this court in its judgment of 174 said, you can't say it's a mere toy and I take it as a mere toy without any form of evidence of a mere toy. I thought the owners were on the state because they are the ones who are alleging to prove that this is the real gun that this guy used and demonstrate why. But I'm here. The court said you can't say it's a mere toy and I accept it. Your worship, you said you can't take a weight of a mere toy. I brought the real stuff, not mere, not a rumor, real stuff.
Not the toy.
No, the real toy.
Is there anything else that you want to tell this court?
Well, I don't know, your worship, why is accused 2 not released on 174. I don't know why accused 2 is actually with me. Let me tell your worship what he doesn't know. Accused number 2 and Larry Mabunda were working for the same company. So if you say you're charging accused number 2 on the basis that he possibly somehow handed over the gun to me, you didn't have to speculate anything. The most suspicious suspect is Larry Mabunda on that video, who the gun was issued out in his name. And the gun that was issued out in his name is the gun in question now. So, meaning on that day, that gun was with Larry Mabunda. If it was not with him, Larry Mabunda ought to tell the court, where was that gun? Why was Larry Mabunda not charged? And an innocent man gets charged. I don't understand. And no one has ever said, accused number 2 has handed over the gun to me. If there was one witness who, when the video was now played, said, oh, I realize I was wrong to say he handed it over to me. Accused number 2 and accused number 0, Larry Mabunda, they are with me. In that picture is both of them coming to me. Why is it conclusive that the white man on the picture is the one who's charged? It's for obvious reason. It's a white man who's going to turn state witness against him. That was the intention. Little did they know that he's not a white man, it's not a black man, it's a South African who stand by the truth. They wanted him to sell me out. That's why they charged him, and they couldn't charge the one of the same skin with me, because they will use their skin to connive against the truth. put a white man with him, the white man will sell him out. Little did they know that it's a soldier who dies with his boots on. So there's nothing wrong that this accused number 2 did in all respect. If anything, the police should have questioned the police that they have deployed, both in uniform and in VIP protection. No police officer was there, came here and said there was such an incident. After that, my lord, after this incident, when the masses left, you see where the tent was. It's not food. That tent is not a food tent. It's a VIP area. So when everybody left, we then retreated into that marquee. We stayed there and left around 2 a.m. That's how much there was no trouble.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just summarizing the last part of what you said, just a minute. Advocate Matthews, cross-examination.
Thank you. Did accused number 2 hand you a firearm
Nothing.
on the stage on the night in question?
Did not hand over a firearm to me on the stage or at any time anywhere.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Advocate Caesar, is the state ready for cross-examination today?
Mr. Watson, right? We would also like to listen again to the evidence of Mr. Malema as soon as we adjourn, because it went so fast and I lost some of the stuff that he testified.
So, at this stage, are we going to listen or are you asking that
I'm
we
asking us to
postpone?
postpone it to tomorrow, Your Worship.
Look, there's so much I can tolerate and there's always time for a good laugh, but not disrespecting both, please. Okay? Both ways, to the state as well as the defense.
Just to add, Your Worship, it's already 5 p.m. There's no way I'll be able to finish Mr. Malema in such a short space of time. So I would have to leave this evidence in until tomorrow. So I would suggest that we start afresh tomorrow.
Okay, Mr. Malema, you do know the flip side of the coin now is you are under cross-examination, which means you can't really speak to counsel until it's finished. So that's the downside of being postponed whilst under cross-examination.
I accept it.
Yeah, so I also work in trust and there's nothing that can change because the state hasn't started, so there's nothing much that can happen. Oh, sorry, you.
Oh, thank you.
just be frank and ask, do you want to utilize tomorrow's date, or are there events people want to attend to today? Or I'm in your hands on that aspect. Sorry?
We're here for tomorrow.
Nothing has changed by wanting to be anywhere else.
No. Definitely.
So your client is rising, both of you. Oh, you
No, I
waited.
was just saying we missed the inauguration because we respect this person.
Yes, we will discuss that after the court cases tonight. Tomorrow is the 20th. Alright, accused 1 and 2 then. The matter at this stage is postponed until tomorrow, being the 20th of June, for us to start at 9 a.m. Bail extended. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Please take a seat. Is the court back with us so I just want to endorse? Thank you.